Hello folks and welcome back to my channel. Despite being in my bathroom, today is not a try to get ready with me. Actually, I'm going to be talking about my hand care routine as a body piercer, which feels to me like a very strange subject to be making a video about, but I had a couple other piercers, like somehow multiple other piercers asking me about this subject all within like the last couple of weeks, which made me want to do a piece about this. And I thought about doing something like this for my Patreon, but I decided that it would be really nice here. This is information that I feel like could be very helpful, more accessible to a lot of people, and maybe it'll just be kind of cool for some folks to see some like behind the scenes of what it is to maintain yourself as a body piercer. And for me, my hand care routine is one of the most important routines that I do as a piercer to allow me to do my job and do my job well. Maintaining your hands, particularly your fingernails, and keeping them healthy is just really incredibly important as a body piercer. So this is what I do. I'm gonna start today by trimming my nails. It is like probably not that easy. Girlfriend always has so much to say whenever I sit down here and start filming in the bathroom. Like every single time. I don't know why. Girl, what is up? But yes, I don't know if it's going to be easy to see on camera, but my nails are definitely a little bit longer than I would like them to be for work. So I am going to trim them with just some clippers. And this is probably one of the more important parts, but also one of the more individual parts. Because I feel like each piercer has a different preference in how long they wear their nails. For me personally, I like my nails to be about a 1/4 inch long. I naturally have relatively strong nails. For a really long time, I used to grow my nails out quite long. People would think that they were fake nails, but they were my real nails. They were just very sturdy. However, I've always kept my thumb and pointer finger short since working in this industry, and these days I just keep everything short because it's easier. But you want your nails to be like the exact right length for you to do your job. And what I mean by this is like we are like taking little threadless ends on and off posts all day long, and the length of our nails really makes a big difference on like the amount of grip we can get behind those threadless ends. I also am opening and closing seam rings all day long at work, oftentimes very teeny tiny seam rings that are pretty tricky to get a good grip on, and I do oftentimes utilize my nails as like a tool to help me get these seam rings open and closed. So if my nails are just a little bit too short, I can't get a good grip on threadless ends. There's nothing more devastating than accidentally over trimming one of my pointer fingers or thumbs too short like the night before work, and I feel like a declawed cat at work for like the next like 2 or 3 shifts. Like I feel like I can't do anything. I have to like grab tools for so many things that I could normally do by hand, all because I accidentally over trimmed my nail like a little bit too short. It is like devastating. At the same time, if my nails are allowed to get too long, first of all, they'll chip. Like I'll go to do like a 1/4 inch 16 gauge seam ring in like a tragus or something, and I will just split the fuck out of my thumbnail. Like just devastating. So they will chip very often with how I use my nails and my hands at work, but also they just will be too long. I've just finished trimming them, so now I'm going to file all of my nails and just make sure that they're nice and smooth and feeling good. They will just be too long. And so where this really comes into play is like threading things down, particularly like discs and backings on like conches and flats. But the worst is beads on a septum ring. I cannot tell you how many times in my career and in my life, and how many more times probably, I will do a septum piercing, and septum piercings are already stressful. If there is a piercing that I'm gonna end up wanting to do a correction on, or not being 100% happy with how it turned out, it's probably gonna be a septum, especially with how many deviated septums I do. So they're stressful piercings. But on top of that, like once you do the piercing, you have to put these little teeny tiny beads on a circular, and it's so hard to get the right grip. And because a circular is like circular shaped, you're not really screwing the bead straight onto it. You're kind of screwing it at like an angle that's following the curvature of the circle. And you also like, people's nostrils get in the way and people are breathing, so their breath fogs up on your gloves. It's just hard. Threading beads on a circular barbell in a septum is hard. And if your thumbnail is like 0.2 millimeters longer than the ideal length for you to like have dexterity getting that bead on, your thumbnail physically like comes out longer than the threading on the bead, and it is so difficult to like sit there and baby finger and be like and try and get these little beads on, and it is so frustrating. And you're standing there over a client, and in the back of your brain you're like, I swear to God, I know how to do my job. I know how to do a piercing. I just pierced your septum and it turned out great. I'm just being utterly defeated by this bead. And the entire time I'll be in that interaction, in the back of my brain I'll be like, I need to fucking trim my nails. Why did I not trim them? Like, what am I? And sometimes I just accidentally didn't trim one far enough down, because I was worried about making it too short, and too short is worse than too long, in my opinion. I know there are other people out there who will disagree with me, especially a bunch of my friends with like large hands I've found. Y'all who are out here wearing large, extra large gloves, most of my friends who have bigger hands would prefer the other way, but for me, like, too long is definitely the lesser of two evils. But man, when I am sitting there fighting for my life with a septum piercing, I'm not super happy about it. So typically Tuesday, so if I do accidentally trim things too short or I need to shorten them a little bit further, I have like 2 days before work to decide if I need to do anything else with my nails. I will trim all of my nails down and make sure everything is like the appropriate length, and then I will file them nice and smooth and make sure that there's like just no sharp edges on my nails, nothing that could break gloves, nothing that could like damage or impair the gloves, and I just want everything to feel smooth and easy to work with. So once my nails are trimmed and filed, now they're all nice and short, I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to scrub really good underneath my nails with a nail brush. I personally use nail brushes all the time. We have them at work, so I use them throughout the day, especially like after lunch break, or if I've like replaced a Statum cassette seal and there's like oil on my hands and under my nails, or just like stuff that we do during the day that touches stuff. So now I'm gonna wash my hands and really thoroughly just scrub underneath my nails now that they're trimmed and filed. Make sure that I don't have any filing dust underneath there, and just make sure that everything is like a nice clean base. So here we have it. My nails are nice and short. I went a little bit shorter on my pointer finger on my right side than I would prefer, but it's not like too short yet, and my left side is perfect, so this will be my threadless end opening side for like at least a day or two until my right side gets back to where I want it to be. Next up, cuticle maintenance. I use the SC Apricot Cuticle Oil, and I'm just gonna put this all over all of my cuticles, let it sit for a little bit, and then I'm gonna push my cuticles down and trim what is left. And if you've ever had like a hangnail or just picked at the cuticles on your fingers, that stuff sucks. First of all, hurts, does not feel good. But also, piercers really aren't supposed to work with any kind of like wounds on our hands. Like when I got my hand tattooed, I like didn't work for like a week and change afterwards. I like not piercing. I came into the studio and did some back end like on the computer tasks with the website, but I had to wear a glove all day, so that way I wasn't like cross-contaminating things. But since we are like piercing and working on people's bodies, we shouldn't have any wounds on our hands, because then our own blood and bodily fluids and like wounds could potentially like transmit something to our clients, and it could be unsafe. And that also includes like wounds and damage around our nails and our nail beds. So as piercers, it's really important that we maintain our cuticles and keep things like happy and healthy and nice. And this is like so much upkeep, at least for me. I feel like my cuticles grow pretty quickly. And I'm also someone with really bad anxiety. So for like my whole life, I've always been, I kind of sent that one a little too hard. For my whole life, I've always been someone who was like a nail picker, nail biter. I mess with the skin around my nails when I'm anxious or stressed. So I really got to be on top of maintaining my cuticles and also like finding other outlets for my anxiety and my stress, because I need to keep my nails nice and healthy, so that way I'm safe to work and I'm like taking my client's safety and health in mind. So I put on that oil, and now I'm just pushing down all of my cuticles with a little cuticle pusher. I can't recommend enough, if you are a piercer or an apprentice, investing in like a really nice nail care kit at home, just so that you can have all these tools to do this yourself, because it's too much money to go like get a manicure and have this done. And don't even get me started on nail polish. I used to wear nail polish all of the time at work. I do enjoy having my nails polished. I like how it looks. The amount of upkeep in order to wear nail polish and safely be a body piercer or a tattoo artist is absurd, insane. You either need to have enough money to be getting like professional manicures every 2 weeks, and all of the equipment at home to like touch up your stuff in between manicures if something like chips or gets damaged and becomes like a bacteria risk, or you need to polish them yourself constantly, which is what I did, because trying to like workshop gel polishes or like acrylic polishes from home was too much work for me. But it's so much work. So these days I only paint my nails for like special occasions, or if I know I'm going on a trip or something, and I'm not gonna have to work for a little bit. Now that I've pushed down all my cuticles, I'm just gonna take a little cuticle trimmer and I'm just gonna trim any of that like excess cuticle stuff off with this, especially on the nails that I like to like pick at when I'm stressed. So that way there's nothing for me to pick. It's gone. It's trimmed, it's maintained, it's cleaned. We will have no picking at our nails. I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying this to y'all. So just kind of maintaining this and making sure that my nails are in like a healthy place, and also like being self-aware. I know that with my anxiety, I pick at my nails. I also know that that presents a hazard for work, and I have to work on that. So this is part of how I work on that. All right, my nails are trimmed. They're good length. They've been filed. I've scrubbed underneath them so they're super clean. I've pushed down and maintained and trimmed my cuticles. If I had any like hangnail spots or spots that I picked at, I would buff those out now. I don't this week. So we've got a good base on the nails. Now it is time for the rest of my hands, because overall hand maintenance is important too. So first up, I have bio oil. This is something that I love for scars and stretch marks. And I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of this and massage it in around the tips of my fingers, around my cuticles and my nail beds. I do this for 2 reasons. One, I just find that bio oil is nice and strengthening on my nails and on my nail beds. So I like to focus that there. But 2, I have not always been the smartest person about the modifications and things that I get. And I have little patches of scarification on the tips of my fingers, where some people tattoo little dots right at their like cuticle line. I have little scars, and I got them on a whim at a body suspension event when I was like 19 or 20. And they're brands, they're solar brands. And at the time, like everyone at the event was getting solar brands. I wanted to be cool and get a solar brand too. I didn't know what I wanted. I saw someone else do little dots, like they'd had healed little brand dots at their fingertips, and I thought they looked really cute, so I decided to do that. I didn't really think about the logistics of putting scars on the tips of all of my fingers. And that scar tissue is more fragile and more delicate and just has a lot more issues. So Now I maintain those scars with bio oil, because if I don't, they'll sometimes get like swollen and inflamed, or they'll get like irritated from cold weather. So now I have to oil up my fingertips, and I do this, I try and do it more than once a week, but at least once a week, and just keeps that scar tissue a lot healthier and happier. And I do also feel like putting bio oil on my nails as well does help strengthen my nails. I have pretty strong nails already, but if you have weaker nails, this would be a great time to use like a strengthening treatment for them, and just kind of get them in good shape. Next up is arguably the most important step for me in the winter months, and that is some O'Keeffe's Working Hands. If you don't like this for your hands, that's fine. You're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. This is my holy grail hand care product as a body piercer, especially during the cold months. And I'm sitting down and filming this in December, so it is fairly cold. I struggle with psoriasis, and one of the bad places that I get psoriasis is right in between my first and second knuckle on my left hand, sometimes on my right hand, but usually on my left. And I can't let that patch get bad, because then it'll affect my ability to work. It affects all sorts of things. And in the winter time, I mean, like in general, piercers' hands are kind of wrecked because we're taking gloves on and off all day long, and we're like drying and washing our hands all day long. So it's really easy for your hands to get dried out from this, and like the skin to like crack or chip, or just like have issues. I know a lot of piercers who complain about that, but the soaps that we use are pretty harsh. They're pretty astringent in order to be like properly antibacterial for the work that we're doing. And then we have to get our hands bone dry to get them into some gloves. And I swear some of the nitrile glove brands out there like suck every drop of moisture from your hands. It's so bad. So I really need to moisturize my hands in general, but add in winter on top of that, and like cold, dry weather, and like dry homes from having your heat turned on. Oh, it is a nightmare. So this stuff lives on my nightstand, and every night before bed I try to put some on my hands and just kind of massage it in and work it in, and just kind of moisturize and hydrate the skin of my hands. I focus a lot of it on the areas where I deal with psoriasis on my hands to try and prevent that. And I also just take this as like a nice time to do like a little hand massage and to rub out some of the muscles and tendons in my hands. There was a really phenomenal class at the Association of Professional Piercers conference last year on like maintaining your hands and your body with what we do for work, and she taught us some like nerve glides that we can do to help like strengthen our hand muscles and our wrist muscles, especially here where carpal tunnel can develop. So this is also typically a time when I will do those nerve glides and just kind of take some time to maintain my hands and get them doing well. If I'm feeling really extra froggy during a hand care session, once all of my moisturizer are absorbed in, I'll also do my hand exercises. I just have like a generic like rock climbing grip training kit with like just all sorts of different things you can use to increase grip strength, and I like to run through a circuit of those every now and again. I usually keep it at work, and I'll do it in my downtime on like a slow day at the shop, because I find myself, I forget to do it at home. If y'all want to see me do a whole thing about hand exercises that I do as a body piercer, let me know. But I feel like this video is already long enough, and it's just me maintaining the skin and health of my hand and nails. But yeah, once I've got all my moisturizer rubbed in and my hands are feeling nice and soft and moisturized and my nails are healthy, my cuticles are good, my hands are then ready to go for the work week. And I do this every single week. If I don't, I literally can't like work well at my job, and it is a lot of physical maintenance. And I wish I saw piercers when I was younger talk about hand care routines and what they do to maintain their hands or maintain their back or maintain their bodies, because piercing is an incredibly physical job. It is an incredibly fine motor skills job, and there is a lot that goes into preserving our bodies to continue doing this for as long as possible. I know way too many piercers who are in their late 30s, through 40s who complain about like really serious hand pain and problems, really serious back pain and problems. I have some friends who've been piercing who are rapidly approaching their 50s, who are concerned that they are going to have to retire much sooner than they would expect because of all of the hand and arm problems they're having from doing this for a lifetime. And I don't want that. I want to be piercing until I'm 60 or 70. You know, I want to keep my body healthy and in good shape to keep doing this. And that starts by maintaining my hands now while I'm younger. So that is my hand care routine. That is what I do every single week to keep my body healthy and functioning and my hands good for working as a piercer. And if you are a piercer or an apprentice or someone looking to get into this industry, set yourself up a good hand care routine. Dedicate 15-20 minutes every week to take care of your hands, to nourish your hands, to nurture them, to properly maintain your nails, because our nails are a tool at work. They are a tool that we use like anything else. And also take care of your hands because they provide for us and let us do this amazing craft. Thanks so much for hanging out and listening to me ramble about what I do to my hands every week, and I can't wait to sit down and chat with y'all again soon. Bye!